It's really beneficial to budget on the same rhythm in which you are getting paid from your employer. Okay. Are we good? I know you're doing this wrong. You're doing this wrong. Hello, how are you? It's the Bougie Budgeter, and I teach young professionals how to finance their best lives. Today, I am going to teach you how to pay bills. If you get paid bi-weekly, I think that this budgeting strategy will be super, super beneficial for you. This is how I budget personally because I get paid for my full-time job bi-weekly. There's a couple things. When you get paid bi-weekly, there's 2 months out of the year that you get 3 paychecks, which is a little different because people who get paid twice a month literally only get 2 paychecks every month. They don't get that extra paycheck, and it's really beneficial to pay your bills and to budget on the same rhythm in which you are getting paid from your employer. I'm super excited for this video. It's a highly requested video. Whatever, let's get into it. Let's get into it. You know, I always have my notes, rich friend, okay, because I don't be playing. First things first is to get your budgeting flow, get your budgeting rhythm. And if you didn't know, I do have a free budgeting template, and it is what I use to track my budget. You can get access to it. I have a link below in the show notes. You can absolutely steal it from me. It's for free. And this is the template that I'll be using and I'll be talking about and referring to throughout this entire video. Let's get into it. There are 4 steps to my budget. That's all I need. I don't really want to do any more. It's 4 steps, and that's how I track it. 1 is your income. How much money is coming in? Number 2 is your expenses. How much money is going out? And those 2 are like the most critical part. But I think that a lot of people, when we're budgeting, only focus on those 2. They're only focusing on how much money is coming in, how much money is going out. You don't just need a list of expenses. You need more than that. So, which is why step number 3 is to calculate your savings, whether that is your sinking funds or your emergency savings. Then the last step is your spending. Spend whatever is left over. Listen, let me tell you, I don't care what you spend your money on. I'm not the kind of girl who's going to judge you for wanting to buy Chanel or a Rolex over like a house, whatever. So what? Like, you only live once. Why the fuck does anyone care about what you're spending money on? As long as you have the bills to cover, the money to cover your living expenses, and you're not asking me for no money so you could pay rent or put food on the table, I'm fine. Who cares? Why do people care? I don't know. Those are the four steps in my budgeting flow. I think that it's super easy to budget this way because it's more about understanding your natural rhythms, and those are the 4 most important things that happen anyway. Anything past that is just like whatever. And I'm not the kind of person who can track every dollar. I've never been that kind of person. That type of budgeting makes me feel overwhelmed. It brings me anxiety. It's like looking at a freaking bad report card every time I see it. I hate it. Not a fan. So not for me. Not for me. Now that we've talked about what your budgeting flow is, let's talk about the bank accounts that you need to make this budget really work, how to make it successful. There are 3 basic banking accounts plus a 4th. I'm going to say 4, but one of them, the last one, is not really a bank account. It's an investing account. But because we are friends, because you're my rich friend, I'm your rich friend, and we rich friends together, rich friends always include investing in their budget. Because if it's not included in your budget, if it's not a part of what you are doing with your money, if you don't keep that top of mind, if you don't keep investing top of mind, it's never going to happen. It's not going to happen. You're not going to put that effort into it. And I want it to happen, and I want you to put that effort to it. So the first one that you need, obviously, is your bill pay account. You need an account that is specifically for paying bills. People always ask me, like, how do I put my bills on auto pay? How do I make sure my bills are put on auto pay? You need a bill pay account and put the right amount of money in that bill pay account And that's how you get auto pay. But even still, I'm going to make a video specifically about getting things on auto pay, because we can do that. Actually, I'm going to write that down now. Got it. You need your bill pay account. The second thing that you need is your savings account. Obviously, you knew I was going to say savings. Your savings account needs to be a nice high yield savings account. I do have a specific criteria on the types of accounts the type of banks, financial institutions that I will use for a savings account. But you do need a high yield savings account. You need something that is going to at least give you some dollars back, some kind of money back for letting them hold your money, right? And then the last one that you need is your spending account. That's going to be the only account that you use to spend money from. You're not using any other accounts to spend money from. That's it. Just that one. Right? Just that one. Your bonus account, the other account that you need, if you are trying to be an investor and you want to be a stock market investor, you absolutely need a brokerage account. So those are the four. You need your bill pay, spending, savings, and an investing account or brokerage account. And those are what you are going to use for your budgeting strategy. So I'm giving you the budgeting flow. I'm giving you the bank accounts that you need. So let's talk about how you are going to start shaping your money this way. Because it's just because I'm telling you how to budget right now, that's not just automatically going to make you today you're going to do it. No, because that's not fucking realistic. But I'm going to tell you how to start it. Because duh, like that's what's going to make the difference. When you're starting this new style, the first thing that you want to do is get a calendar out. You need a calendar. It don't have to be a giant calendar, but you need a calendar. Get you a calendar and write down every day, mark every day, put like pay bills, put a dollar sign or something, mark off every day a bill is due. Your rent, your utilities, your car note, your car insurance, everything, Netflix, everything needs to have a date where you know when it's coming. So now that you've written a list of how much expenses you have, I like to split mine in half. I split them in half because I'm going to have each part of every check allocated to bills. I want you to get out of the habit of one full check going to all of your bills, so then you have to wait 2 weeks to get to pay or to use money to do anything else. That is not sustainable. You use half that money for bills and one for that first check, and then half for the other check. That's literally the easiest way to do it. If you get paid bi-weekly, that's the easiest way, because it's always going to be the same amount of time between checks. It's always going to be 2 weeks between checks, regardless. So you want to get your calendar. You want to look at your bills, because you've already done your budgeting flow, so it's all right. It's all right. You've already filled out how many expenses you have, and then you're going to divide that in half, because you are going to take some of one check, some of the other check, and then for your bills, you are going to go to every account that has bills and make sure that your bill pay account is the account that it is going to auto debit from. Or if you don't want to do auto debit just yet, make sure your bill pay account is the only account that is structured to or authorized to pull money to pay off that bill. Because you want everything in one account to make it easy. And so also this stops you from accidentally overspending in your spending account, or accidentally spending your bill pay money because it's sitting in the same account as your spending account. Those need to be different bank accounts at different banks. Every time, hands down. Don't fight with me on this. Just trust me. Trust the process. Trust me. And we're gonna get it there. So you got your calendar. You got your budget, you know how many expenses, you got all of your expenses pulling out of your bill pay account. That is really what you need to start. And then the next thing that you also want to do is set up your direct deposit. So your direct deposit, now that you know how much money you got from each check, put your direct deposit to work. So this is what the flow should look like. It should be payment day, the day that you get paid. And then there should be a certain amount of money going to your savings account, a certain amount of money going to your spending account, a certain amount of money going to your investing account, and a certain amount of money going to your bill pay account. And then that's where the magic happens. Everything goes in the place that it needs to go, so you don't have to worry. When you're looking at your calendar, I want you to pay attention to when things are due. I cannot tell you how many people skip over this step and don't pay attention to when things are due, because that makes a huge impact on how you're feeling throughout the month. So I am a person who waits to the last minute, and before I did this exercise, a lot of my bills ended up coming out either the last week of the month, or like that very first week. That's just because I waited too late. So the last week of the month is when everything is coming out. That's overwhelming. You want to make sure that all of your bills are evenly spread out through the first 2 weeks and the last 2 weeks. So obviously rent is due the first week of the month. So you want to make sure that maybe smaller bills are also kind of due there, but you want to have it kind of equaled out of how much money is coming out at the beginning of the month and how much money is coming out at the end of the month. Because if it's off balance, then that's how we're going to feel broke. That's how we're going to feel like we can't make it to the next payday, because it's a really unbalanced thing. Like, you got all your bills coming out, or all your big bills coming out in the first of the month, and you don't have anything at the end of the month. So to relieve some of that pressure, I know some people don't like to get on the phone, but just please get on the phone, call them up and say like, hey, can I move this to a later date? Can we rearrange or get a new due date for these items? And I promise you, as long as you are current on your bills, they most likely won't have an issue. I've done it several times. Now that we've started it, we've put everything together. I know it's a lot. Let's talk about what you are looking for in your money day. So when you first set up everything, it's going to take maybe an hour, 2 hours to get everything set up. But now on your money date, that is, you are going to hold a money date for yourself and your dollars every time you get paid. So every 2 weeks, bi-weekly, you are sitting down 20 minutes, maybe an hour at the most. You are going to check all of your checking accounts or all of your bank accounts to make sure everything was transferred properly, that you didn't miss a bill, or nothing failed. That's the first thing that you want to do. The next thing that you want to do is pay anything that could not be put on auto pay or could not be paid manually. So you want to do that. And then the last thing that you want to check for is you want to check for any upcoming dates. You want to check for any discrepancies. Make sure that the money that was supposed to be in your account was in there. Make sure that you got paid on time, that you're not missing money, that your check doesn't look smaller than it was supposed to look. You want to make sure that all of your money is in the right place, and that all the bills got paid, and that your savings is increasing the way it's supposed to. And always check on your investments too. Make sure that every dollar is where you told it to be. You need to make sure that every dollar is where you told it to be. That's the tweet. The last thing, that after you started up, you got your budget running smoothly, you're doing your money dates on a constant. Every 3 months, you want to review and adjust. Not after the first month, because the first month is going to suck. The second month, you're going to kind of get the hang of it. And then the third month is when you are going to review and adjust. When you're reviewing, you want to make sure, you want to check in with yourself. You want to say like, how do I feel about this budget? Does this budget feel good to me? Am I hitting the goals that I want to hit at the right time? Can I make this better? Or is this okay? Is this good where we are? Or can I make it better? You know, I love that question. Can I make this better? And then, what's not working? What is not working with the strategies that I'm doing right now? And answer those questions. If you don't have an answer, fine. The only one I want you to not have an answer to is like what's not working. But you have to be truthful and honest to find out what's not working. And anything that is not working, take the time to adjust, figure out a better action plan to make it work and make it more comfortable for yourself. And there you got it. Bada bing, bada bam. And then you'll be doing it right. I just love budgeting, and I think that budgeting based on how often you get paid is much more beneficial than budgeting based off of just because somebody told me I need to check my budget every week. Like, what am I looking for? If I'm not getting paid weekly, I just really feel like there's no reason to look at my money. I keep the notifications everywhere and being abreast in that way. But that's all I have for you. If you have any other questions, and again, if you want to grab the free budgeting template, just check out all the show notes in the bottom. And have a wonderful day. Holla at your girl. Let me know, rich friend, what was confusing for you. What questions do you have? And how can I make your budgeting experience just a little bit better? And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.